Uh-huh. Yes, that's what Melvin Brown is, our legal shield expert. Her name is Melvin Brown, and that's why people have to be here. I mean, I mean, that's all I can say. That's why we invite people to come in, because there are things that you get in the house that you ain't gonna get on Facebook. I love y'all, Facebook and Instagram, and all of y'all love you. But there's some stuff that happens in this house, like just that minute ago when we had that surge of Holy Ghost about to come forth in this seminar. We don't know what God is going to do. You know, sometimes just making the effort. God blesses your effort. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm sorry you couldn't hear everything about the wheels. I'm glad you said that, though. It gave me an opportunity to vent. But that was just such great information to have. And we are just, I mean, it's time for us to get our business straight. Yes, it's time for us to get our business straight. So we've talked about mortgages and credit and refinances. We talked about wills and will preparation. We want to preface this with we do not give legal advice. We're not giving legal advice. What we are doing is giving you information to help you prepare to live. Yes, we're giving you information to help you prepare to live. And we're just thankful that you are still tuned in, whoever's on Facebook with us, whoever's on Instagram, YouTube. So now we're up to the part of insurance. Insurance. Oh, Lord, insurance. Everybody want to complain about insurance, but everybody needs it. Insurance is required. Yes, it is required. And not only do we need life insurance, we're going to talk about medical insurance. We're going to talk about Lisa Kendall's is it Kendall's Consulting? Kendall's Consulting. I love this couple right here. I love them. I love them. You got some people you just got to follow on Facebook because they encourage you. You know, they just make you want to know what they're doing. So I saw her on Facebook, and she was saying, I don't even know what I was looking at, but you came across my Facebook page, as you typically do, because we're friends on Facebook. And she was talking about insurance, and something just, the spirit of the Holy Ghost just dropped in my spirit and said, get her. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the extent of it. All I know is I know her heart. I know her spirit. I know she loves her family. I know she loves her husband. I'm all about this integrity. I'm all about this teamwork. I'm all about loving your spouse. I'm all about all of that. So when that part draws on me, that means God has poured something inside of you that we want to draw on. So we want to welcome Lisa Kendalls and her team from Kendall's Consulting. She's going to talk to us about insurance, and y'all give her a hand. We're so thankful to have you today. I don't know if you need the mic.
Love you. God be praised. God be praised today. Listen. Let me help you some. Let me help you guys with something. I know that there are some Bible scholars in the house today, but the Word of God declares that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And in this day and age that we are living in, where technology is so prevalent, and there are so many people that own different types of businesses, there's really no need for us to be ignorant of anything these days. All it takes is a simple ask. Raise your hand. I need help. Who do you know that does this? Because everything that we need is in the house. Everything that we need is in the house. So having said that, thank you. Y'all, this is my Lord. My lowercase L. My lowercase L. My Lord. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. Every day I'm reminded of God. How he loves, provides, protects, and cares for me, and how he takes care of me simply by the way my husband treats me. To God be the glory. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you also to my youngest of the Kendall's clan, my youngest son, RJ, who's here today. This is a new adventure for us. This is a new venture for us. But my name is Lisa Kendalls, and it's an honor to be here with you today. Thank you to Apostle Michael Roberts, Senior Pastor, Vicki Roberts, and the Engaged Church DFW for inviting me to come share with you today. My husband and I, we work in healthcare, and mainly on the health insurance side. And I have over 25 years in healthcare. And I started Kendalls Consulting because I saw the financial devastation that one can have after a short-term stay at a hospital. And it's normally the most inopportune time that someone learns that a hospital is not in network with their health insurance carrier, or that a certain test or procedure is not covered by their health insurance plan. And most of the time, it happens to people that don't have the cash to cover their hospital stay or their non-covered service. The information I'm going to provide you today is not to scare you, but to empower you. For we know the Word of God tells us in 1 Timothy 1:7, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. And every day, my husband and I, we see the financial burdens placed on people who receive a bill that they could not pay, and most of the time could have been avoided if they simply understood how their health insurance plan worked. Now, I want to preface anything that I'm going to say before I go any further. I am not a broker, health insurance broker. I don't sell insurance, nor do I advise you on the plan to take, because that decision is yours and yours alone. However, what I do is I explain your health insurance plan in a way that makes sense to you. You, in turn, you'll take the information that I provide to you, and you will utilize that to maximize your health insurance benefits. You pay the premium. You may as well use that plan to its full potential, right? So you being here today is the first step in empowering yourself so that you can get the full benefit out of your health insurance plan. And for that, you are to be commended. Now, I want to present some figures for you today. The average lifetime cost of a stroke is $140,000. The average cost of cancer treatment is about $150,000 per episode. That's each time that cancer goes into remission and it's detected in another or a new part of the body. End-stage renal disease, commonly referred to as ESRD, or even more commonly, dialysis. That is $72,000 or more per year for the typical 3-week dialysis treatment. And that doesn't include any injectable medicine or prescription drugs that your doctor may prescribe you. The average cost of a 3-day hospital stay is $30,000. And that amount could easily go over to $100,000 if that condition is a complicated one like a stroke, a heart attack, complications from diabetes or hypertension. You know those things that plague the African American community at large, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have $150,000, $30K that I'm willing to fork over at any given notice. I mean, to God be the glory. He has allowed my hubby and I, he has allowed us to be stewards over what he has placed over us. But we are called to be good stewards. And I don't want to fork over $100K, $30K, $50K, $70K here and there every time I go into the hospital, or if one of us have a chronic condition that we need to take care of. It is estimated in 2018 that Americans spent an average of $11,172 on healthcare costs. And in 2023, that number is going to jump to $14,944. And you'll spend even more if you have a chronic condition, diabetes, hypertension. It's further estimated that 2/3 of all bankruptcy in the United States are tied to medical expenses. People are literally going broke and filing bankruptcy because they cannot afford their health care expenses. Now, with figures like that, wouldn't it be wise to know how your health plan works? Currently, there are 297 million Americans covered under some type of health insurance plan, but more than half of them are hopelessly confused by health insurance. If that's you, This is no judgment. That's why I'm here today. This is why I do what I do. I believe that when we have knowledge, we are empowered to make better decisions. And health insurance is one of those areas where we can stand to be a little bit more knowledgeable in, right? I want to let you know, again, this is a no judgment zone. It's okay not to know, as long as by the end of this presentation, you'll want to know the inner workings of how your health insurance plan works. So today I'm going to present to you 5 questions that you should ask your health insurance carrier and why. Question number one, how does my plan work? Knowing how your plan works is essential, men and women of God. If you do not know how your plan works, it's only a matter of time before you get a bill that you were not expecting in the mail. There are all kinds and types of plan designs. There are plans that restrict you to only going to healthcare providers in your plan's network. There are plans that offer absolutely no out-of-network benefits, meaning that if you receive services from a healthcare provider that is out of your plan's network, your health insurance carrier will not pay. You heard that right. They will not pay unless it's an emergency situation, and yet still there's still some stipulations to that as well. They won't pay. Even though you pay the premium every month, they will not pay. There are some plans that allow you to see any healthcare provider that you like, even if that healthcare provider is out of network. Now, why is it necessary for you to ask this of your health insurance carrier? If you know how your plan works, you can avoid the financial pitfalls people fall into simply because they do not know. It's important to know the type of plan that you have as well. For example, a health maintenance organization or an HMO plan provides a network of doctors. And outside of that network, unless it's an emergency situation, no coverage. You can forget it. You must visit your primary care physician before visiting any type of specialist, such as a cardiologist or a podiatrist. On an exclusive provider organization or an EPO, they work similar to HMOs, but you don't need to visit your primary care physician or your PCP, come to refer to, before seeing a specialist. But there are no out-of-network benefits unless in case of an emergency. On a preferred provider organization or PPO, typically this is more flexible than an HMO plan. You can go directly to a specialist or an out-of-network doctor, but the plan usually pays a higher percentage of the claim if you visit an in-network provider. A point-of-service plan is a hybrid of an HMO and a PPO. You must visit your primary physician first or your PCP, but you can go again to out-of-network providers, although it's going to cost you a little more. So knowing the basics of how these plans work will ensure that you will most likely avoid making life decisions when needing care. I know that may be foreign to some of you all, but again, my husband and I, we see it every day. People are making life decisions on choosing whether or not to put gas in the car, food on the table, or do I go see the specialist? Do I have this test done? Do I have this MRI done? This is very needed. Question number 2, are there any deductibles, co-pays, or co-insurance? Now, for those of you who's hearing this terminology for the first time, let me go over them for you. And for those of you who may already be familiar with these terms, please just oblige us, I promise. The goal is to make sure that we are all on the same page by the end of this presentation. So a copay. A copay is a fixed amount attached to some services covered under your health insurance plan. For example, you may have a copay when visiting your primary care physician's office or a specialist's office. There also may be a copay associated with you visiting an emergency room or having an overnight stay at the hospital. A deductible is a predetermined amount that you, the member of said health plan, must meet before your plan begins to pay out of pocket for any covered services incurred under your health insurance plan. So you may be asking, I pay a premium, and I still have to pay out of pocket first before my health insurance carrier pays out? The short answer to that question is yes. But again, please check with your health insurance carrier to get the plan design or the plan type. Your health insurance carrier has a whole customer service department dedicated to assisting you in answering any questions that you may have. And how you can find out, or a telephone number, just get the back of your ID card, your health insurance ID card, look on the back of it, and there's that number. Thank you so much. I don't know why I'm sweating. I'm among family. But I always get nervous when I present. Always, always. Thank you so much. So, coinsurance. That's the amount that you pay for covered services after you meet your deductible. It's the pieces that your health plan pays and you pay. And generally, that's identified in percentages covering 100%. So an 80-20 coinsurance plan means that if you see or have services from an in-network provider or a provider that's in-network with your health insurance plan, your health insurance carrier will pay 80% after your deductible is met, and you will be responsible for 20% of that. If that provider is out of network and that plan is 70-30 for out-of-network providers, the health insurance plan will pay 70%, and you'll pay 30% for the out-of-deductible, after the out-of-deductible is met. Now, you may be saying, that's not bad, it's just 10%. Let me give you a scenario, a real scenario. For example, you have an x-ray done on your knee at an imaging center, and that imaging center is in network with your health insurance plan, and they bill your health plan $3,000, and your health plan's negotiated rate or allowed amount for the x-ray is $800. Your health plan will pay $640, which is 80% of the $800, and you'll be responsible for $160, which is 20% of the $800. Those amounts, that $160, will also be tracked toward your co-insurance amount. Now, let's take that same scenario, because, again, y'all say, oh, 70, 80-20, 70-30, that's not that bad. Let me give you a scenario. Taking that very same scenario on an imaging center that is not contracted in your network with your health insurance carrier, you may be responsible, again, for their higher co-insurance percentage, 70-30, right? 70% your plan pays, 30% you pay. But not on the $800, but the $3,000. So if your out-of-network deductible has been met, you'll be responsible for $900. You may also be responsible between the amount that the imaging center bill, which is the $3,000, and whatever amount your insurance pays on top of the $900. So you may be wondering, why am I paying a premium every month and I still have to meet a deductible and or coinsurance? The short answer to that is this. Your premium that you pay monthly to your health insurance carrier, it gives you access to their health plan network of doctors, pharmacies, hospitals, durable medical equipment providers, other specialists, and any other healthcare providers in that network. Additionally, your premium allows you to take advantage of the amounts of pre-agreed amount between you and your health insurance carrier. Your health insurance carrier and the primary care physician, your health insurance carrier and any specialist, your health insurance carrier and your pharmacist, and so on and so forth. Now, I've been in health insurance 25 years. Hubby's been, 7 years? About 7 years. We are very well aware that health insurance get a bad rep. But let me help you with something to put it all in perspective. Think about it like this. If there were no health insurance carriers, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, specialists, DME, podiatrists, cardiologists, nephrologists, any healthcare provider, they could charge whatever they want. And you would either be left to pay it or forego their care. So, again, I know health insurance is not the thing we feel all warm and fuzzy about, but it plays a purpose. It really does. It pays a purpose. Who in here has ever heard of a super bill? No judgment. Mm-hmm. I see one in the back. So, good. Listen, I'll be looking for you later so you can audit this presentation. So a super bill is an itemized form used by health insurance carrier that details all the services that they provided to you, the patient. That super bill is used to submit a claim to your health insurance carrier, and it gives the complete cost of services rendered during an episode of care, like a hospital stay or an MRI from that knee that started hurting out of nowhere, or that surgery that you have been putting off and now you can no longer put it off. If you've never seen a super bill, first of all, you can request one. You can. That's your right under your rights by you being covered under a plan. That's your right to do that. But if you've never seen one, review one just to see how your health insurance provider is billing your health insurance carrier. Sometimes your health insurance carrier, they even allow you to kind of see what your health insurance provider has billed when they send you an explanation of benefits, commonly referred to as an EOB. Now, why is it necessary that we ask this question? It's necessary so that you will know what to expect so you can plan accordingly. I mean, we should be people of planners. We plan for retirement. When we know we're getting married, we plan for that. When we know we're having children, we plan for that. Even grandchildren, we're not there yet. Hubby and I, we're not there yet, but for those of you who are grandparents, I'm sure you have planned for their grandchild, planned for it. So just like everything else, and so like everything else, you want a plan, right? You want to know if you have a plan that has a $5,000 deductible. That's a real plan, nurse, am I right? Keep me honest here. There are even some plans that has a $10,000 deductible. And keep in mind that deductible has to be paid first in full before your health insurance plan begins to pay out anything. I don't know about you, but I don't want to pull nothing out of my savings, $10K, just to give to a health plan or a health care provider. I want to keep all my money in my pocket. So let me give you a real life scenario. I know someone that needed emergency care and was transported by the ambulance to the emergency room and ended up staying 3 days in the hospital. They recently got an ambulance bill for $3,500. They flew into a panic because they didn't have the $3,500 to pay. I was able to research their plan, look up their benefits, and help them understand that their responsibility of their $3,500, it didn't matter what their insurance paid. Their copay was only going to be $265. This is the reason why I do what I do. Because I know people, especially, no disrespect to older people, but they're just genuine, they're honest, they're kind. And I know in situations like that, somebody would have just paid their bill and went on. $3,500 versus $265, which one would you rather pay? I'll take the $265 for $500, Alex. But question 3, what is my total out-of-pocket that I will be expected to pay? This is what you want to ask your health insurance plan. The total out-of-pocket that you are expected to pay is the amount of money that you'll pay for covered benefits year after year. That amount may change year after year, so make sure you're doing this yearly. Again, this is also called like the out-of-pocket maximum or the out-of-pocket limit. For most plans, deductibles and coinsurance are tracked toward this out-of-pocket limit. But I've even seen some plans where copay, deductible, and coinsurance are tracked toward that limit as well. It's necessary, again, so that you will know how you need to plan for your year. I promise you, if you keep ignoring it, it's only going to be a matter of time before you have to use your health insurance plan. And if you are ignorant toward how it works, I promise you, you're going to end up probably in financial distress. All it takes is one episode of care or a catastrophic medical event. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It doesn't have to be a heart attack. It could be you coming out of this building and you fall wrong and sprain your ankle. It can be that simple. Yeah, we're not speaking that, but it can be that simple. It doesn't have to be like a catastrophic event. Okay, here's a big one. And I promise I'm almost done. Are my doctors contracted or in network with my insurance carrier? Each year you want to verify this. If your doctors and your primary care physician, specialist, your pharmacy, the hospital that you prefer, you want to verify whether or not they are in network, because this may limit your out-of-pocket limit on your plan. If your doctors or hospitals are in network with your health insurance plan, that means that they have agreed to accept a pre-negotiated or pre-agreed amount fee for services rendered. This fee is commonly referred to as an allowed amount or negotiated rate, and it's built into that contract that your health insurance carrier has with your doctor or your hospital, your pharmacy, any healthcare provider. So that contract states that no matter what your doctor bills, no matter what their hospital charges, or the services they provide you, they'll only get paid the amount that they previously agreed to in the contract with your health insurance plan. So for example, I'm full of examples because I want to make sure that you get it. For example, you have a 2-night stay at a hospital, at an in-network hospital, and your hospital, they bill the health insurance plan $35,000. Yeah, that's a lot for 2 days, a lot. Your health insurance plan will look at all the services that are provided, and then they're going to go to their contract, and they're going to determine, okay, for all these services you provided, I understand you bill $35,000, but per our pre-agreed amount for these services, you are only going to get $12,000. That's a huge discount, right? So, of that, although the hospital billed the insurance $35,000, because they had already previously agreed to $12,000, then that becomes the allowed amount, and that's what your deductible and your co-insurance is going to be based on, not the $35,000 that they billed. There's a whole class that I offer, and where I walk through a scenario like that, but that's another time for another day. But please note, it's important to ask, just as I stated, are you in network with my health insurance plan versus do you take my insurance? If you ask, do you take my insurance, they're going to say yes. Yes. And then what's going to happen, you're going to go because you, based on their word, yeah, you take my insurance. And then you're going to look up and you're going to get a bill paying way more than you expected. And then when you call them, you're going to say, why is this bill so large? Or you call your health insurance carrier, why is this bill so large? Oh, they're not in network. But they took your insurance. But they're not in network. It's a difference. It's a difference. So number 5, we're almost to the finish line. Almost. When does my plan benefits start over? Again, your plan design, it matters. Your health insurance plan may operate on a plan year, for example, May 1st to April 30th of the following year, or they may operate in a calendar year, which is January to December each year. You want to ask this because if you're in January of the current year and you finally meet that deductible, you will have to start over meeting your deductible in May of that same year. Why? Because it's your plan design. And May starts a new year for you and your benefits all over again. I know someone that didn't understand how their health insurance plan worked, and she had a plan year that ran from June to May 30th the following year. So in March 2021, she made her deductible of $3,000. In July 2021, she had a short hospital stay and had to pay another $3,000. She was confused as to why this occurred. After some research, I was able to determine that she had a plan year. So her benefits started over in June 2021. So in March 2021, she met her $3,000 deductible, only to have to meet it again 4 months later. You see how knowing how your health plan can help you keep more money in your pocket? So thank you all so much for allowing me to present this information. It's my hope that I've given you information that will benefit you in utilizing insurance and keeping more money in your pocket. Now, if it's okay with Pastor Robert, I can answer a few questions, but please note, due to the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, I cannot answer questions specifically regarding claims, premiums, or any care that you've had. but I'll do my best to answer your questions. Yeah.
People really need to know their plan.
That's why this is necessary.
It's necessary. I wish you had looked at mine before I. Yeah, with people who are new to it, to their employer,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe their insurance hasn't kicked in yet, your expertise before they sign for this insurance would really be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Mm-hmm.
we just talked about deductibles. I don't know what, not like five, a whole big old number.
Mm-hmm. Nice round figure.
Yeah, yeah. So I go to the doctor at the beginning of every year to knock out that deductible.
Yes.
I know that I'm gonna be paying that.
Yes.
So that's where I plan my year, is going through that.
Yes.
And get the medication. So I'm just grateful that y'all really need to get this. And allow somebody to look at your plan to make sure
I
that
can
what
do
you're
it.
getting benefits you and not curses your pocket.
Yes. 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 Don't let this be you. The information is out there. I know that this is of God, what it is that I'm doing, because I love to help people. I love to see people be empowered and get knowledge. I love that. And I just believe that this is something that God is leading me to do. And it brings me great joy and pleasure to be able to just educate people and empower people so they won't fall into these pitfalls. I mean, it's out there. It's out there, and it's only a matter of time before you have to use it. You will eventually, if you've been covered as long as we have, it's only a matter of time before you're going to have an episode of care or some catastrophic medical event. But even though you have those things, it should not cause you to want to be making life decisions. Do I pay the mortgage or do I pay this bill? I really need to have this test done, but I got to hold off on it. I got to hold off on it. I need to have this mammogram done, and it's not preventative, it's diagnostic, but I'm going to hold out. You don't know what they could be doing to your health, to your body, to your life, So please, 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 I am available. Again, the name of my company is Kendall's Consulting. I can be reached at 817-989-9068. I have a QR reader that I will share with everyone, and just go to the contact page on my website and just say, let's connect. I'll reach out to you and say, hey, what is it that you need? Any other questions? 817-989-9068. It will be my pleasure. It will be our pleasure to serve you all. I mean, really, this is much needed. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
This is some good stuff.
So let me say something.
Sure.
My wife,
Are we live? Oh.
my wife was inspired by this. Of course, she said we've done this for 25, 30 years. But also, she said it 100 times, to educate and empower you guys. I talk to members on the phone. She does another level. Her levels go so high. But I'm on the phone. I'm in the battlefield. I'm talking to the members on the phone. Okay, so I'm getting real live conversations of people that don't know, don't want to find out, and think that the doctor is God. And the reason why they say they think the doctor is God, because you know what their excuse is? The doctor told me to do it. So what we want to convey and equip you guys with, and anybody that's listening and needs the information, is that you have a responsibility to. You have a responsibility to know your benefits for yourself. It's not the doctor's responsibility to figure out what you're going to pay and what your benefits are, and that is not their responsibility. It's yours. It's yours. And the only way you're going to find it out is to get your benefit booklet, get information when you actually pick your insurance. Don't just throw it to the side. Don't forget where it is in the email. And then you have an incident, and you say, man, well, I got this. I'm going to say one more thing. I'm sitting down. I'm telling you, when I say I talk to the people up front, I look at claims. I saw $1 million claim from a hospital. And guess how much was going to be paid? $0. Let me see.
There went your credit. There went your credit. See, I'm so transparent. I'm just crazy sometimes. I got this bill for like $2,700, and they didn't want to settle it with me. I'm one of them. I'll give you this if you give me something. You give me something, I give you something. They didn't want to settle with me. You know what they get every month? $15.
That's right.
But my credit is good. So they can't do nothing about it.
Oh, that's a good thing you just
That's right. You don't want to work with me, I ain't going to work with you. I can pay you out, but you don't want to work with me, I'm going to give you $15 until that 27. I don't care how long it take. But, but we want to, but it keeps our credit.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You know, you make it a good point. A lot of people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just make a payment plan and forget all about it and don't pay nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you pay $5,
That's it. I did that too.
they can't put it on your credit because they ain't got
That's right.
30 days of
That's right. That's right.
So keep that in your pocket. When you got something you can't pay, I don't care if the bill's $2,000.
That's right.
Pay $15.
Pay your bills. Pay your bills. Whatever it is. Yeah. So this is so good. We got some lunch right here when y'all ready. This is such wonderful information. I am so glad God put this on my heart to do. And you know what? We're going to do this again. We're going to do it again because there's just so much that we lack. People perish for lack of knowledge. Something as simple as spending 2 hours in the presence of somebody with expertise. I want somebody to be able, I'm teachable. Teach me something. Yes. Because she said something. Who said stewards? I can't get this word out of my spirit. Steward. I used to teach this. Even when I was doing credit counseling, it was about stewardship. I can't get away from the word of God. So we have to really be good stewards. And that means knowing your pocketbook, knowing your policies. I was hoping to get somebody here to talk about life insurance. So, and that's imperative. And I said it this morning, I think on the call. If you got $10 a month, how much life insurance can I get for $10 a month? So that if something happens to me, they got something to work with. Something is better than nothing. So we want to be guilty of always being able to call on these experts. Make sure that you sign the sign-in sheet, because we want to share this sheet with our vendors with your permission. Those so they can contact you. Make sure you're good. Make sure that if you need them for anything, they are available. So if you don't mind making sure that you put your information on the sign-in sheet, then we can share that with our vendors and allow them to reach out to you regarding the information that we have shared today. Thank you, Facebook, for being a part of what we're doing today. We're going to eat and we're going to fellowship and we're going to have a good time for an hour or so until people get tired. So thank y'all so much for being a part of our Family Financial Health Seminar. Bless you.